r/ask Reddit. What common misunderstanding annoys you to no end? A disagreement is not the same as an argument. It's normal in friendships and even healthy. My not agreeing with you does not make me confrontational. I completely and furiously disagree. How dare you? When NASA says that they had to Photoshop an image together, it doesn't mean it was faked, but multiple images were stitched together. Also, sometimes they colorize it. Chromatic sedition, the worst form of heresy. If you're in the X% tax bracket, your entire income is taxed at that rate. Yes, this. I wouldn't want a raise because then I would be in a higher tax bracket and I would end up bringing home less. No, not how that works. Also, I don't mind giving to this charity because it's 100% tax deductible. This does not mean you get it back on a return. It simply means the government considers it money you never earned in the first place and will lower your overall taxes by a small amount. Edit. Thank you for all the additional comments, examples, special circumstances. Yay for educational posts. I have no background in finance. Materials engineer. Just a curious person who tries to educate myself wherever possible. I learned a bunch from many posts here. Edit 2. My comment is based on the US system. All of the comments about cases of people ending up with less by earning more because they lose government benefits like welfare, food stamps, aid with medical really saddens me. I am going to learn more about this. Can't do more unless I know more. Thanks. I don't mind giving to this charity because it's 100% tax deductible SHHHHH. I think a lot of charities depend on this misunderstanding. General fear of chemicals. Just because you can't pronounce an ingredient, it doesn't mean it's dangerous. Dihydrogen monoxide. I filter this out of my tap water. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease. Has nothing to do with my body weight. And yes, I am allowed to have piece of my own damn birthday cake. Karen. I hate when I'm about to eat something sweet and someone asks me, you're diabetic. Can you eat that? Well, you're seeing me eat it. So either yes I can, or no, I've been avoiding all sugar for the past 20 years and today decided duck it. I'm gonna have a piece of cake and die. My BF is diabetic. It's funny when people will freak out over him eating a tiny bite of chocolate, but then can watch him eat an entire plate of pasta without batting an eye. That life expectancy in the olden times meant people usually died at that age, and you were old aged if you lived into your 30s. No, it was totally not unusual to live into your 60s, 70s, or even 80 plus throughout history. The life expectancy stat being like 30 is because a lot of people died in infancy and childhood, and that brings the average lifespan way down. If you made it into your teens, you had a decent enough chance of living many decades. People did not look at 42-year-olds in the year 1500 and think OMG so ancient. As an actuary, I've always loved this little tidbit. I forget the exact year, but I remember reading that at some point in the medieval era the life expectancy of someone who made it to 30 was around 60. I have heard historians say that if you made it to 21 in medieval England you'd probably make it to 60. On Facebook or Instagram people will confuse breathe and breath and I don't understand how it happens. Ugh and lose and loose. How is ugh at all similar to lose and loose? Independent events and probability. If I flip a coin 9 times and get 9 heads, I am not more likely to get tails the next time. Edit. This assumes that it is a fair coin. Same with gambling on a roulette wheel, though your odds aren't 50/50 on black and red like some people think, because of the 0 and 00. For people who haven't seen a roulette wheel, 0 and 00 are green, and they aren't odd or even, and aren't grouped with any of the number sets, so it throws off the odds. People who think all words that end with S also need an apostrophe. When the Boston Red Sox were playing in the World Series, someone in my office had a note written on a whiteboard outside her office that read "Go Soxes." Go Soxes what? That is officially the worst apostrophe S duck up I have ever seen. It's so bad I almost feel like it must have been a joke. Separation of church and state doesn't oppress you, it protects you. Dumbus. Also, on a govt kick, freedom of speech protects you from being prosecuted, arrested, jailed by the government for your words. It doesn't protect you from getting fired for violating the morality clause of the employment contract that you signed. If a teacher says racist shit on the internet that makes the school look bad, the school has every right to fire that teacher. The teacher gave them that right when they signed the paperwork that outlined this. Read the terms and conditions or work somewhere else. Edit. Okay. Freedom of speech is a general idea that you shouldn't be censored and you should be able to voice your opinions freely. The First Amendment protects you from legal action, either where the above teacher is getting fired for their Facebook post, as they would for any other policy violation like sleeping with their boss, or not following dress code. There are plenty of legal things you can do inside and outside of work that are still listed in the handbook as fireable offenses, even though they are well within your rights as a citizen of your country. If you don't like the rules, don't work there. Also, that's not the same as firing someone for being black or gay. Really, dude, that's specifically against the law. And it's a good thing for religious people, since it means neither the government nor anyone else can dictate or criminalize their beliefs. It's not would have but would have, comma, as well as could and should, close bracket. Met, I could care less. Kidding. Even knowing that you're joking, this phrase makes my blood boil. The idea that disagreeing with someone's free speech is the same as suppressing their free speech. I've never encountered this, but I've encountered plenty of people who think that any negative consequence to them saying something is against the Constitution. Venomous and poisonous are not the same. For clarity, at least in biology, poisonous is defined as a toxic substance used in defense, whereas venomous is generally usable as an attack strategy. Venom also has a penchant for being much more deadly. For even more clarity, I bite you, venomous you bite it, poisonous edit, it give you silver, friend. That you need to be good at math to be an accountant. You don't even have to be good at accounting to be an accountant. A mistake plus Kelvin gets you home by 7. Astronauts don't float in space because there's no gravity. They float because they're in orbit, which is essentially a calculated free fall, constantly avoiding the Earth's surface because of their tangential, sideways, velocity. The ISS is close enough to Earth that the gravity is still about 90% as strong as on the surface. If the ISS were to stop moving and hover at its current altitude, all the astronauts would fall to the floor. Basically, they're just constantly falling towards the Earth and missing. There is an art to flying, or rather a knack. The knack lies in learning how to throw yourself at the ground and miss. Clearly, it is this second part, the missing, that presents the difficulties. Archaeologists don't dig up dinosaurs. That's paleontologists. As an archaeologist, thank you. Right, so where I work we run 3 different promotions. Buy one get one half price, buy one get one free, and half price. The buy one get one free is on everything. The other 2 are only on selected items, maybe 15% of products, but they're generally the most popular products. Reddit, I cannot tell you the number of times I have had to explain to another adult that buy one get one free is not better or cheaper than getting one for half price. It happens multiple times a day. A typical interaction goes like this. Customer, hey, how much is this thing? Me, it's $4.99. Half price, usual price is $9.99. Customer, ah man, so it's not buy one get one free? Me, well no. But if you think about it, it's pretty much the same thing. C, what do you mean? M, if the actual price is $9.99 and you get a second free, you'll pay $9.99 for 2. If it's half price at $4.99 and you want 2, you'll pay $9.98. So half price is actually 1p cheaper. C, totally pretending to understand what I am saying. Oh okay. I think I'll just come back when it's buy one get one free every single day. It's honestly really disconcerting to think that people are so, I don't want to say stupid because that sounds so harsh, but man, it can't be far from stupid. Edit. A lot of you have pointed out that half price is actually better cash flow wise because it doesn't require you to have as much money while not costing any more if you want to buy in greater quantities. I sometimes point this out. People still don't understand it, are reluctant to buy. Also, some of you think my explanation is unhelpful. It might be, but I explain it 1,000 different ways to 1,000 different people. It's not to do with my explanation. It's a company-wide problem. The company makes way less money, has fewer overall transactions and less footfall when it's half price, even though it offers customers the greater saving and is usually on the same or at least very similar products. I tried to explain to a customer who got a free item for buying 2 other items in a large transaction that she was getting it for free, and it didn't matter if it was $6 or $9 when we started because it was now free. Open bracket. The promotion allowed for mix and match. Saying that $3 difference is a lot. Except it wasn't because the item was free now. She made me take it off, even though it was free. Her total didn't change. This wasn't a quality thing either. She wanted this toy, and unless she was planning on reselling the toy, there's no point in getting your money's worth when the item is both free and a gift for someone else who you wouldn't tell the price to. It was like she couldn't understand the item was free, like she was still paying for it even though I showed her the 000 on the screen for the item. So she was still somehow losing $3 on a free item. It's a gift. There's no ducking point in trying to compare lost potential value over $3 ducking anyway. But especially not for a ducking gift you may see one more time in your life before the kid outgrows it. People lose like 30% of their functional brain power when entering a store. I used to work in a grocery store, and items would be advertised as 2 for $4. But if you bought one it was $2. So no savings at all. It's a tactic to get people to buy more, because they see the 2 and are more likely to buy 2 of the item. That the customer is always right. This only applies to what products services you offer. If customers come in every day asking for half and half, but you only sell milk, the customer is right in that you should be adapting to your market. Also, your customer isn't the person shopping. It's the general idea of who you have as a customer. Customers aren't Steve or Gary or Linda. They're the public or military spouses or purchasing departments for a hospital, etc. It's a business decision, not a customer service one. The idea that an individual customer can't be wrong is idiotic. I went to the local grocery store after work to buy a little chocolate cake. They had around 12 little vanilla cakes but no chocolate. I asked the person working there if they have chocolate. No, just vanilla. We always run out of chocolate early in the day. We never sell all these vanilla cakes. We will be marking them down in a few hours. I went to the competitor and they had an equal number of chocolate and vanilla cakes left, but not many of each. And this is my experience with a merchant not understanding that the customer is always right. Yup, that's dumb. The customer is always right idea should have them looking at what they make versus what they sell. And maybe from now on they make 18 chocolate cakes and 6 vanilla instead. But customers take it to mean, why isn't there a blueberry basil cake? I want one and I'm the customer. I'm right. Food containing wine or liquor doesn't retain any alcohol after being cooked. In reality, if you're flambeing, 75% of alcohol is retained. 1 hour of being baked or simmered, 25% is retained. And after 2 hours of being baked or simmered, 10% is retained. Edit. Excuse the formatting. On mobile. It's interesting that restaurants that serve these dishes aren't required to card the customer the way they do with drinks. Since they inherently come with food and tend to not be in quantities with tons of alcohol to being with, it's hard to get drunk off of them. That there's some kind of serious scholarly dispute over whether Shakespeare wrote his plays. No, their ducking isn't. Of all the playwrights and actors of that era, Shakespeare is actually one of the ones we know the most about. The English kept meticulous records for taxes, so it's relatively easy to trace the movements of Shakespeare's company, where they performed, which plays were shown, even how many attended and who acted in which roles. A lot of people don't know this, but many of the characters in Shakespeare's plays were created for specific people in his acting troupe, who would perform those roles every time. Whoever says that he didn't write the plays is a cook or an attention horse trying to stir shit. And yet there have been so many books and even movies about this. I didn't even know there was any controversy about whether or not he wrote his plays. There was a thing going around like 3 years ago where there was an image that said Shakespeare was illiterate and couldn't even spell his own name. The real author of his plays was an African woman and she didn't get any credit, but of course as soon as it got popular it was immediately discredited. The colloquial use of the word theory, my brain short circuits every time I hear someone say it's just a theory, to invalidate mountains of evidence based upon scientific research and decades of effort. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.